pain in their eyes, the anger.
Yes.
They both hate me now.
Girl.
Oh, get over yourself. Oh, shucks. I just got into a drunk driver accident where I killed 2 small innocent children. Ooh. Whoa, oh man, and everyone is so mean to me now. Get over yourself. What a jerk. Welcome to GT Not Live, or guess what? With more time on my hands, I have gotten to
Oh my gosh, Matt. You're not wearing the right mic.
Oh, I'm not wearing the right mic.
No.
I wore the mic that was on the couch.
No, there should be another one. The one you wore earlier.
Where is it? It's gone. Disappeared. Oh.
I was like, why does he sound like that?
Was it weird?
It was a little weird, but this is better.
Is this sure?
Clearly, yes.
Now I've got double mic.
Yeah.
How's that feel? Do we have a 3rd or 4th mic that I could attach to my body right now?
You stay right there.
Oh, buddy.
You stay right there.
I want to be as mic'd as humanly possible. Mic me to the gods, Ash. 4 mics? 3 mics? How many mics do we have?
So here's one.
Oh, buddy. Here's another one.
I have a shotgun.
Ooh, and a shotgun mic. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. I got it. Oh, this one doesn't have a clip, sadly.
Oh, okay.
Do we have a clip?
Yes.
Do we have a clip? I need all the mics. I just want to make sure. You know how YouTubers nowadays just like are holding their microphones, whether or not they could attach them to their bodies or not, just like holding them? It's very Brechtian in its styling.
This one also doesn't have a clip. I think this is the one that Amy stole the clip from.
This is the one that Amy stole the clip. Amy constantly be stealing stuff. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
So here, let me attach this guy. Hold up, I'm going to put this one down for a second. This might affect audio quality. It won't, because only one of these is actually attached. But I like maintaining the illusion that it will. Here, I'm going to thread this one through so we get clean audio from it. Just want to make sure it's clean audio, you know, from these mics that, again, are not attached to anything.
Right.
And are just here for make-believe. There we go. Got that one. And then, yeah, make sure we're laved up as well. Apologies that you're hearing it thread through. Here we go. Oh, I don't know which one's the real one anymore, so I'm just probably fumbling across all of them at this point. And there we go. And one more, just to make sure that we are totally and thoroughly mic'd. Perfect. Let's just get this one pinched right in the middle there. All right. Here we go. And
oh my God.
And shotgun. Make sure you got a clean one of the shotgun. All right. Are we set to go now?
We've never been more set, arguably.
Okay. Awesome. Here we go. Hey guys, and welcome to GT Not Live, where guess what? Now that I have more time on my hands, I had the ability to go back and actually refresh myself on the lore of the Walten Files after 3 years and multiple videos. So I feel better prepared to reflect on what we're watching now, the Walten Files Chapter 4, second half. Last time, I think Lee and I were fumbling around in the dark a fair bit as far as trying to like recall bits and pieces and details, you know, Susan Woodings and what her role was, Charles and whether or not he had established role yet, Sophie and all that. But now at this point, I am refreshed and ready to go, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember this franchise now, and I'm very excited about that. So that's been one of the fun things that I've been able to do with a little bit of extra time in my schedule, is not just like have to maintain everything, encyclopedic knowledge and just regurgitate it out, but it's like, oh, I can actually re-experience these things and refresh myself, which I think will end up with a better, reactive, theorizable product for you guys today.
Woo!
That's what I have to say. How's that audio coming in there, Ash?
Oh, crisp.
Loud. Am I speaking clearly enough into the shotgun mic?
Loud and crystal clear.
Okay, no plosives or anything. I don't need a pop filter or anything, do I?
No, I'm actually very impressed with how the airflow is going right now.
Excellent. That's great. So, without any further ado, unless, Ash, you have something you want to contribute at this point in our episode.
I have nothing to contribute.
I mean, you have so much to contribute, but maybe not in this particular moment.
I appreciate it. I have nothing to contribute right now.
Okay, excellent. Well, then, without any further ado, let's resume Walten Files Part 4 with 7 microphones from where we left off. So to catch you guys up, last time we ended things as Susan Woodings was finished off, and we saw Bon admiring the fruits of his labor. One of the details that I had actually forgotten about reacting to last time, and now that I'm caught up, I'm like, oh yeah, this makes sense. If you pull it up on screen right now, you have this shot. So Bon goes ham on Susan, and it's pretty awful and terrifying. And this is just the saddest, darkest thing ever. It's horrific. This is a kids program, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a family-friendly channel, I say, as we watch this blood-spattered bunny admire his work. But I was kind of memeing on this one last time as kind of the final shot that we left off on. But one of the things that I had forgotten about was a recurring theme throughout this franchise and throughout Walten Files is this idea of I will make you beautiful, right? Like by being stuffed into an animatronic suit, by being turned into a robot, people are becoming more beautiful. And I think, whereas before I was like, oh, haha, it's cute that he's admiring his work and this and that. It's actually reinforcing the theme here of, hey, by killing Susan, dragging her away, doing whatever he is with her, which is shoving her to Banny, the bunny, eventually, he has made her beautiful, right? I will make you beautiful. And so it's admiring his work, but the beauty of his work. And I think that that's an important concept. I don't know how that's ultimately going to play out in terms of what the overall themes of this thing are. But what I might imagine, right, is we know at the core of the Walten Files is this plot line about Felix, this broken man who loses himself in alcoholism and ultimately kills off Jack Walten's two kids, Ed and Molly, in a car crash, a drunk driver accident, and which is, I think, where we kind of start off with today. And I'm wondering if this concept of to be beautiful and being made beautiful by being turned into a robot is some commentary on what it's like to be a human. So humans, by our nature, right? We are fallible. We are weaker. We make mistakes. We fall victim to any number of problems, things like that. And so I'm wondering if the recurring theme here of I will make you beautiful or you are now beautiful is this transition of like, hey, now you're a robot and now you're an animatronic. You are a perfect mechanism. You behave logically. You do the things that you are programmed to do, and that by its nature is beauty. So because you have kind of you're away from your human form. I don't know, but as I've been kind of like catching myself up with the series and rethinking about some of the themes, some of the repeated lines and things like that, I've definitely noticed that as something that was worth calling out. So I was maybe just kind of thinking about it. I think I might put this shotgun mic away just for the time being, Ash.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think if we're getting sufficient audio from the 6 other microphones that I have on my person, I feel like this might be a little overkill.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, you think we're good without it? Because if you think we need the safety, that's fine.
I think we're great. I love the visual of you carrying around this like completely uncovered long microphone.
I feel a little bit like Bob Barker from The Price is Right. Who iconically has that very like thin stick mic with a little like ball on top. It looks like the world's teeniest dum dum, and you just want to kind of like bite it off and be like munch. It's kind of like that. I feel like there's not enough thought put into the branding around microphones at this point. Like game show hosts used to be defined by their microphones. I love that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I want to be defined by a microphone.
Well, you have 7 to choose from.
Yeah, I do. Maybe instead of choosing one, I just kind of do shotgun blast. Shotgun blast and choose them all. Oh. I'm the guy with all the microphones. Maybe
I like that.
Maybe that's my new brand.
That's a fun motif.
Not Matpat Game Theory. Matpat Microphone.
Matpat Mini Mic.
Yeah, Matpat Mini Mic. Mini Mic Matpat.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it.
Mike Pat.
Mike Pat. Make it happen, internet. Make that happen, I say, into this shotgun mic to emphasize the point.
Yeah.
Even though it's not going to do anything, because again, none of them are actually connected, except for one. Let me remind you, this is all a bit. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a fun bit.
It is a fun bit. I like this as a bit. Moving on to back to the Walten Files here. So Susan was off at the end of it. We've seen bits and pieces of the actual spring dance event last time. We learned that Charles, who was kind of one of the big unanswered questions of the franchise going off of our previous theories, that he was a tech guy brought into the early stages of the company by Felix and Jack He knew them from back in school days, I think. And he's brought in the early days before Bunny Smiles even had a name. It was kind of unnamed Bunny Incorporated or whatever. So that's Charles, who eventually becomes Buzu, the ringleader, the ringmaster. So that's kind of mostly everything that had happened up to this point. There's been a lot of looking at the specifics of how the animatronics work and things like that, which is filling out the world and filling out the lore a little bit. But without any further ado, let us continue with the back half of Walten Files 4. Putting this down.
You could drop it.
Drop it. Don't be dropping mics. Okay, so May 3rd, 1974, 12:23. So again, as I was refreshing myself on the timeline, I can also speak to this now, which is great. We had assumed this last time, but I can now confirm. May 3rd, this is the date, the day, same day or day after, of the Felix incident, right? Where Felix kills the kids through this drunk driving accident. So this is presumably the immediate aftermath of this moment, of that moment, or a parallel event happening at the same time. I believe this is also the first official time that we're seeing Jack fully as a character, right? Doing things. Jack up to this point is still this mysterious entity. We don't know where he fits in. His disappearance is still the big question mark of the whole series. Last time I talked a lot about like, oh, we assume that Jack is Bond, we assume Jack is Bond. That's still on the table. Previous theories that we've done have kind of said that's not likely. So this is Felix and Linda. I believe the wife's name is Linda in this case. And Linda's the one who leaves him, walks out on him, which is what sends him, Felix, into this depressive spiral where he loses himself in drinking. I love the fact that this is the audio mixing of this section feels a little bit like I'm listening to a Christopher Nolan movie. Felix, and then you have like another audio. It's Tenet now, and we're all talking through masks. We're talking through masks, guys. We got masks now, and so you got all this overlapping audio. Mature stream. Apologies, mature stream. This is kid show, but not made for kids.
Hey, what's the deal, Felix? Come on, Wood. I told you 9 p.m. I told you 9 p.m. Please. I've called this crew, and I will just tell you that if this is some prank you're trying to pull, I don't find it funny, so please.
Again. So I'm assuming this is after he wasn't getting a response, right? So I believe these audio messages are from chapter 3, right? Which was where we heard the messages that Jack was leaving for Felix, being like, hey, where are the kids? Where are the kids? What happened? Answer the phone. I'm assuming that these are the same thing. It's a bit hard to parse out just because of kind of how all the audio effects that are happening here and all the overlapping audio. But there is this long segment in chapter 3 where there is these phone calls from Jack to Felix being like, hey, where are the kids? What happened? So.
If you do anything to those kids, I'll kill you. If you remember this story,
Interesting. Oh, and here's Felix. 8:56 a.m. Okay, so yes, so this is the night after. So the party happens May 2nd. Jack is like, hey, my kids are gone. Where are my kids? And Felix refuses to answer. Jack's like, I know you're in there. Lo and behold, he is not. He is actually here in the middle of the woods digging their graves. So overnight he's dug this to create this like elaborate cover-up. Here's Rocket, which in true Golden Bonnie or Golden Freddy form is possessed by the spirits of 2 dead kids, both sharing the whole thing. Ooh, rough. Oh. It's the static in the background and the transition of static here is really interesting because obviously they're in a naturalistic setting, right? You hear the birds, you hear the forest. Like we know that this happens in the woods from previous uploads, and so it's interesting that that we're using Martin, the creator of the series, is using static here, and not just as a transition point, but also as kind of like covering up the sky, which feels like it's showcasing, and highlighting Felix's clouded mental state in this moment and how nothing else matters and he's only focused on what is here and everything else outside of this immediate moment is static to him. It's white noise, it's meaningless. But it's a really interesting visual aesthetic. It's also, again, kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier about like humans becoming robots. It's this idea of you're using this technological imagery that, static TVs, things like that, this media, right? It's broadcast, right? And you're using that in this natural setting, which is a forest. And that's the way that Felix is seeing the world. So again, you get this interesting merging of natural stuff and technological. When it becomes clear as he finishes it off. That's dark. So there's 3 graves, right? But there's only 2 dead kids, so that's that third one's for Felix, right? That's really that he went so far as to dig his own grave. Toss some evidence? No, because we know Rocket stays. Gonna toss himself? He's like, well, I dug my own grave, but... It's interesting how this one, more than the other ones, is... Okay, so he's throwing away the evidence. But we know he keeps the rabbit. We can't go through it. Yeah, that's interesting, because one of the things that the series kind of repeats over and over is like, hey, he's a coward, and so he can't face his own actions in a lot of cases, both with what he did to the kids, but then also what he does to his partner, his friend Jack, and so this lines up with kind of his character multiple times. That's unbelievable. Oh, it's interesting to see the evolution of storytelling from Martin, who's been working on this series, right, creator of the series, and how it started with like a lot of basic images that were, very rarely animated, to now, Martin's done, like, clearly learned a lot about animation, and you're getting much more robust storytelling. You're getting a lot of really interesting camera angles. Like, this is so much more cinematic, and it's doing such a great job of emphasizing a lot of these like unspoken character beats. I think one of the things that is fascinating, and I don't know if there's an explanation for it, but how Felix doesn't throw away Rocket the bunny. Because if he's losing all the other evidence, you would think he'd be like, hey, the blood-soaked rabbit, throw that away too.
I mean, but it's cute.
It's cute. So we know from an earlier, in part 1 of this video, when we were reacting to part 1, we know that he hides the rabbit in the restaurant, which is just weird. Just a weird call, man. I don't know if that's just for story purposes, where Martin in creating the series is like, well, the spirits of the dead kids have to figure out a way to get into the restaurant anyway, and so the bunny's here and it goes there. I don't know. It's a weird call, though, for him to actively be like, yeah, I'll throw away the backpack and the shoe, you know, but the rabbit, that iconic toy that they're associated, I'm keeping that.
I mean, with a toy, right? There's the significance of that where a toy is like beloved by a kid.
Yeah.
And like hugged and appreciated,
Yeah.
where like a backpack is something that more, I guess a parent would associate more strongly with the kid.
Yeah,
Because
it's
a kid isn't
utilitarian,
like, my backpack, I'm gonna hug it and fall asleep with it at night.
Clearly, you have not seen Ollie in his Gravity Falls backpack.
Oh, is he like that with the backpack?
He doesn't fall asleep with it, but he
Okay.
does really like it.
Okay, well that's good for him. But if he had a plushie of Dipper Pines, do you think that he would be more strongly attached to that than the backpack?
Certainly not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Growing up, I loved stuffed animals. I had a huge collection of stuffed animals. I had my favorites. I collect them anywhere I go. Try as we might, Ollie does not care one lick about stuffed animals.
Wow.
Except for Piney Guy, which was the one that you got him.
Piney Guy?
Yep.
Oh, yay.
Piney Guy, and there's another one called Happy Guy, which we got him when we were at when we were traveling at one point, and he was having a bad day, and so we got him. But those are the two.
He
Otherwise,
has his guys.
he has his guys. He's got two, and that's quality over quantity.
I'm happy that the Squishmallow I gave him back in 2022 has carried us this
Those
far.
those are the two.
Aw.
Otherwise, though, like none of them got him like a Paw Patrol one because we're like, oh, you love Paw Patrol, buddy. Here you go. No,
He doesn't want it. I mean, I guess Ollie's just built different,
yeah.
but we've known that.
I mean, you know, the pieces were in place for us. He's robot
I
Ollie. You know.
Yes.
3 days after the accident, I haven't been able to sleep since last week. I finally told him what happened. It was in my office. It was the longest hour of my life.
Told him how many days later?
The most painful
Later.
conversation I've ever had.
Yes.
Pain in their eyes, the anger.
Yes.
They both hate me now.
Girl.
Oh, get over yourself. They hate me now. Yeah, of course they do.
Oh,
Oh no.
they don't
Oh.
like me, but
Oh.
I did bad things.
Oh, shucks. I just got into a drunk driver accident where I killed 2 small innocent children. Ooh.
Oh, woe is me.
Whoa, oh man, and everyone is so mean to me now. Get over yourself. What a jerk.
I know.
What a jerk. Get out of here. Of course they do, as they should.
Good characterization, though.
Yeah, 100%. I hate this guy. I hate this guy so much. Like, it wasn't enough to be like, oh, you know, like hearing him like whining about it is like, oh, the worst.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him. Good. Yeah.
I have no idea what's going to happen to me now. My life, my business, everything.
All about him.
But the fact they're still buried down there, it haunts me every night. It's eating me up inside.
Right? Probably should. Probably.
Rosemary asked about the doll.
Yeah, what about the doll?
I told her that they left it at school.
What?
That was a lie.
Yeah.
No, Jaw.
What the? What are you doing? Why?
I don't know what to do with the doll. Wherever I go, there it is, and I can't get myself to get rid of it. It's like a constant reminder of this huge mistake, and how there's nothing I can do to make it better.
Creepy kids, creepy ghost kids, peeking in from the window. Creepy ghost kids. There they be. Hello, it's us. No, you can't. So you like having it as a guilt. You like it's a reminder of what you did, but you can't give it to the parents, and you didn't lose the evidence. I don't know, man. This guy's.
He's troubled mentally.
He's got some. He's got to work through some stuff.
He does.
So, you know, let it go, man. Let go of the doll. Give it back to the. I'm sure the parents would love to have it.
Yeah, like
I feel like that would be very meaningful to them. To be honest.
A beloved doll of their kids.
Yeah.
Yes, return. Like, I feel like it's just, you know, oh gosh, what is an appropriate term that I can use to describe this? Because I've heard some more inappropriate ways of describing. It's like throwing yourself a pity party.
Oh yeah.
And then bringing in guests, which are just like, you know, evidence of your crimes. But like, What?
I know it's not okay. Also, he's like, oh, I still can't believe they're buried out there or whatever. Did he show them? Did he show Jack and Rosemary like where they are? Or did he leave that secret? Well, he must have told them, right? When he's like, it took me an hour to fill him in. He must have told them.
My good dude. Like.
Right? I don't like those ghostly shadows. Is this an old school organ? I think this is an old school organ. They play, right? Yeah, you're opening the door for that one? Nope. Not opening the door. I want to get rid of the rabbit now. Just saying.
Please make it stop. I'm so sorry. Please. God, I'm so sorry.
The designs of this franchise are so creepy. So disturbing. Okay, July 1st, 1974. So it was May 3rd before, right? So this is 2 months later? July 1st, 1974, yeah. 1:36 in the morning, so like this is super early. What are we doing here? What's going on here? What? Bon, what are we doing? Oh, there's all sorts of uncomfortable sound effects happening here. Okay, so this is Bon. So this is Bon turning Susan into Banny, the bunny, right?
I do not see.
I agree, Rocket. I too would shut my eyes to this. I don't think anyone needs to see this. The amount there's a lot wrong with this one. So that's what I'm assuming, right? Is like, hey, here we go, we're putting it on. But holy jeez. Oh yeah, you can make it out because there's the purple of the Banny suit. There's the purple of the Banny suit, and there's Bond doing stuff. I'm just saying. I was deeply concerned about what we were looking at. Right? I'm like, oh boy!
Oh no!
Ooh!
I do not want to see it.
Do not. Throw the old sensor bar up there. Yikes! No. I don't know what's happening at Bond's Burgers at 1 a.m. But
these movements were not promising.
Obviously, these are the gestures that one makes when stuffing a dead body into a suit.
Right.
Obviously.
Just like a little movement of like below the torso, right?
Yeah, a little bit of hip motion, you know. Gotta get your hips into putting it in.
A little gyration.
No. Oh, yikes! Well, Walten Files, yeah, Rocket, yeah. This is not made for kids. And then here it sounds like he's eating.
Right, like, ugh.
Right here it sounds like he's eating some flesh. Like, Bon is doing all the actions in this moment. Bon is doing everything right now. I'm assuming this is like the final, like, boop. July 1st. Okay, we could solve this, right? We saw earlier this episode Susan Wooding's going in and her murder, right? Okay, so this is... Okay, we don't know what day. Do we know what day this is? 6:30. The first. So the first kill, presumably, right? The first. So this is, okay, so this is confirmed. We assumed this, thank goodness. But this is now confirmed as the aftermath of Susan's death. Okay, great. Oh, he's giving him the side eye. Okay, so now, so we see the possession happen. So Bon, whatever spirit is inside of Bon, this upside down spirit that we just saw kind of like go into his body, which still unclear who that is. We have now, we see now that there's a world where Bon shoving Susan into the suit is what gives Ed and Molly, the ghost children, I guess, the thought that they can possess the rabbit. So the rabbit's been kind of kicking around this whole time, but it hasn't actually had their spirits, it seems like, until they're like, oh, look, I guess I can watch this guy and take it over.
Fun.
Really, Bon is the influencer of the animatronics.
Oh.
Truly.
That's a statement.
Yeah, these kids were hashtag influenced by this. Yes. Quick! He's in here. Molly, I don't think we should. You saw what he did to her. He hurt her. He made her bleed. I don't want her to be hurt anymore. It's not fair. That's nice. Look at these nice ghost kids. Molly, that's not our problem. Please, Ed. We have to find her. Okay, so last episode I started this off. She doesn't deserve this. We have to. So last episode, I started off, Lee and I got into this debate about what this shot of a kind of blurry field represented, whether it was the afterlife, whether it was heaven, whether it was hell, whether it was some sort of purgatory. And this seems to confirm what I was saying, kind of my stance on it, which was this feels like a neutral purgatory where people are caught here. Like they're saying, hey, she is still here. She is caught here and she doesn't deserve this. She's here somewhere. We need to help her. So it feels like these kids are existing in this kind of limbo state. And similar to what we saw with the marionette giving gifts, giving life over in FNAF Land, it feels like these guys are kind of serving as like stewards or like, hey, we want to help other people who are trapped in this area. Fine, but be quiet. Hello? Is anyone there? Please, someone. So this is again Susan, and for those who didn't watch the last one or have forgotten, it was established that even though like her neck is snapped by Bon at a certain point, and he does like strangle her to death afterward. This is horrific. This is the most awful thing ever. But she was still alive for an extended period of, like we learned through one of the secret text images that flash up on screen, that she's actually alive for an extended period of time after all of this brutality. So the fact that, she's here and still kind of like, gutturally like wheezing out stuff, like all that kind of plays into this. I don't know where I am.
I can hear you, Susan. I'm here.
I like that the question isn't who. Where are you? Where am I?
Don't you worry. You're in safe hands.
Not with a voice like that.
No.
Press X to doubt.
And with the kerning like that, absolutely not.
Anyone who has inconsistent kerning, do not trust them as far as you could throw them.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, that is distressing
That's
kerning.
abysmal.
That is rough. And I don't think that's a secret code either.
No.
Because I could see that kerning being a secret code, but I don't think that's a secret code. I think that's just distressing kerning. But to be fair, yeah. But like when you're talking to a mysterious spirit in a limbo state void world, and they sound like Vincent Price from like the beginning of Thriller, the end of Thriller, whatever. You know, if he sounds like the narrator of a horror movie, you walk out of there. You don't trust that guy.
If there's bad kerning, he'd die warning. It's warning, but with an E. I was sitting here trying really hard to find something that worked.
Let bad kerning be thy warning.
Warning, yeah.
Red touches black, you're okay, Jack. Red touches yellow, you're a dead fellow. If letters spaced poorly,
You will die, surely.
yeah, letters spaced good. It's all understood. If the letter spacing be good, it's all understood. Letter spaced pourly, you're dead, surely.
Yeah, that's it.
Classic. As we've all done, as we all know, that classic phrase that we all are aware of. Make sure, and if no one's ever heard of it, treat them like they're foolish.
And now you know.
Spread the word. Spread the word. Good work.
Susan, welcome to Wonderland.
Wow. I
Your new home,
wouldn't call it that.
isn't it beautiful?
Isn't it bountiful?
Bountiful?
Isn't it bountiful? Yeah, bountiful, sure.
Dead?
Am I dead?
No. Not yet, at least.
Oh, great, thanks for
Your
that.
heart is still beating.
Could we get some medical attention?
Body is now functionless.
Medical attention, please.
Out there, you're slowly suffocating.
Oh, jeez.
But here, you're safe. The spirit doesn't pass on quite as fast as the body does. I would know.
I would know.
Oh, where are my manners?
Hello, hi.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Bomb, and you're Susan.
Okay, so this is big because Bon and Jack are like the two big question marks of the franchise, right? Weird. So in past theories, again, I was able to catch up on everything. In past theories, we had predicted like, hey, it seems easy to say that Bon and Jack are connected, right? Because they're both leaders of the company. Bon is the leader, the mascot of the whole thing. Jack, Bon was Jack's like brainchild in a lot of ways. They're both the ones with kind of like the like Jack's disappearance is mysterious. Bon, we don't know who's inside of it, all that stuff. So there's always been this kind of like implicit connection between the two of them, but it's never officially been established. In the other thing that we posited though from the other theory was, hey, if it's not Jack, it could be the fusion of these two kids. We know the kids are in Rocket, but there were clues in past uploads where we saw a jump scare of Bon, and we saw the two kids flashing, the two faces flashing. And we saw moments where it seemed like Bon would actually get divided up or broken into two. What's interesting here, right, is we just finished this conversation with Ed and Molly, the two kids, being like, let's help her, let's help her, let's help her. Cut to here, the guy named Bon coming in and being like, hey, by the way, I'm here. So it doesn't really make sense for the kids to be Bon, just because it seems like Bon was already possessed and stuffing bodies into suits, which gives them the idea of like, oh, we could be in the rabbit. So I think that theory's debunked at this point, but it is weird that they're like, hey, we need to help this girl, and then all of a sudden this guy just comes out of nowhere. That's kind of creepy. He does kind of look like Jack. He looks like a shaved Jack, I will say. The kind of face shape and the general eye shape. This is terrifying, by the way.
And you're
hate him. Hate him so much.
I've had my eye on you. I know you very well,
You.
my friend. I know you like to fix things, isn't that right? Well, so do I. Wouldn't you like me to fix you?
Ooh, don't like that. Don't like the way you're phrasing that one. What are you talking about, Bon?
I could help you. Here, a gift.
Don't accept presents from strangers.
Take a look inside.
The Banny mask.
That is the new you. A wonderful gift that will eventually become your new body.
He's a little bit like who played Mr. Body? I can't think of it right now.
Mr. Body?
Yeah, from Clue.
Oh.
And and Pennywise. Why can't I think of it? He's one of my favorite actors. I'm drawing a blank.
Lee?
Nope.
No.
Lee? Lee?
It said Lee up here. Let's see.
Can't think of it.
In the 1985 Clue-bee?
Oh yeah, in the Clue-bee. It's
It
yeah.
says Lee Ving.
Okay, sorry. It's not actually Mr. Body. He plays the butler.
Oh.
But it's.
Do you mean Tim Curry?
Thank you.
I was like, what?
Yeah, no, it is Tim Curry. Thank you. That's who I was going for, and I was drawing I was stuck on B for Bonnie or Banny or something.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, Tim Curry. His voice reminds me a lot of Tim Curry.
Eventually become your new
Yeah.
body.
Indeed.
Just saying here. I wanna pull up so that people don't know I'm insane. Tim Curry. Is there? Let's do Red Alert.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Brilliant. Space. Tim Curry. Tim Curry as Bond. That is my headcanon at this point. Tim Curry music. Oh, he has an official music video. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Excuse me.
Sure. And how are we this morning?
Fine. Is my transportation here?
Out in front, sir. A limousine and a pizza. Compliments of the Plaza Hotel.
And a pizza.
Pizza. Compliments of the Plaza Hotel. Bond and Tim Curry. That is my headcanon.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love that.
See the resemblance?
They have elongated faces.
They both have suits with ties.
True.
Sometimes.
Occasionally.
Perfect.
Just like a beautiful butterfly
Space!
bursting from a cocoon.
Skip eater hair.
Will be reborn.
Why would I listen to you?
Don't have to listen to me. That is up to you. But what other choice do you have? Spirit can survive without being tethered to a vessel. I know you're scared.
I don't believe him. I think I pursue up my options.
Yeah.
Give me some time to think about it. Let me explore all options here. I just got here. I'm fresh. My neck is still freshly snapped. You know, I'd like to look around a little bit, see what else this wonderland has in store. Can I get back to you?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about the use of color specifically.
The white.
With this, where like Bond kind of meshes with this like purgatory place.
No, he's
like
this
it's like
whole
an
entity.
embracing of it and trying to get more people, where Susan is like this grayer, like just got here.
Yeah.
Could go either way, where the kids are bright red
You're right.
and stand out strong.
Yeah.
So it's like this display of these opposing forces and that middle ground as well, which I find really cool.
Yeah, it's really the choice of making Bond blend into the white fog or just this like the style of this whole area is very interesting. It's very compelling. And clearly it has meaning.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm not 100% sure what it's going for because this character is still kind of this mysterious entity. But it's so clearly intentional. It's such a cool effect. And it's really disturbing that he's basically like, this is his world, right? It seems to suggest like this is his, and like this is his area. And so for the kids to be like, we need to help her and get her out of it. Like, I feel like the kids are working directly opposite of what his goals are in a lot of ways, right?
100%.
I was too, but everything.
I know you're scared. I was too. Interesting.
Okay. Apologies for what I had to do to you. But look, the hard part is over with now. Besides, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Okay. I mean, that's one interpretation. So she accepts the mask. Someone's trying to bust in. On the other side of the fence. He's gone. They're both gone. How are we gonna protect her now? Will she be alright? I don't know. We just have to wait, okay? Alright. Come on, Molly. Let's go. Huh. Huh. So Bon is very clearly on one side of this fence. Here, do we see? Does he start on the other side of the fence? Is Susan always kind of in the middle then? Kind of, yeah. So she starts on this side. It is interesting to think about the fence being this sort of like division of like a spirit realm versus, hey, I'm tethered to a physical object realm now. Because it seems like as he switches over, something else. You also hear the sound of someone trying to break into the building. Or trying to like unlock the door or whatever, get in there to help Susan. So we know someone has also come into the building in the aftermath of the Bond incident, right? And maybe, I don't know if it's been cleaned up, but maybe someone is complicit in what's happening with all this. Huh. And then the kids are like, hey, how can we protect her? So that would also indicate like why they're on one side of the fence and you know, Bon at least is on the other side. He's trying to keep people from passing over into the spirit realm potentially, or keeping them tethered to a physical body. Whereas these guys are able to travel freely between them. I'm really interested by all that. But it's nice to you for your patience. All right. A lot of times there's something at the very end of these. To be continued in part 2! Okay, that's just it. Great. So, yeah, that was one of the other things I had a chance to catch up on, is I don't know where I got the impression that there were only 4 of these. I think it was maybe just like Martin's tweets from years ago where I thought like, oh, he was wrapping up the series or he was looking to end it in part 4. But apparently And I see it in the comments too, where like you guys have definitely corrected me on that, where it's like, oh no, there's definitely a part 5 and 6 already planned. Part 4 already has the second half of this that's going to come out at some point. So I'm very excited about where this is going. Do we have any thoughts as to what it all means?
Well, I'll be excited for more information from part 2. But
Yeah.
honestly, I'm just having a fun time. I think this is so well done.
Oh yeah.
Just really, really captivating and disturbing to look at.
Yeah.
Like, S tier.
Yeah.
Really, really love it.
Oh, it's so fascinating. It's so fascinating. It's so I brought this up in a theory, and I think it bears repeating, where it's like FNAF is the story of animatronics with humans. Walten Files is the story of humans with animatronics. It is it's taking the human stories, human failings, human emotions, frustrations, mistakes, regrets, and fusing it, and then those are kind of funneling in or feeding into the robots and this afterlife and all this stuff. Whereas FNAF started as a robotics story, like, oh, haunted robots, this and that. And it's kind of been filled with the human element of like, oh, well, I guess it was William Afton. He got mad and this and that. And that subtle shift in focus of storytelling, I think, is so decisive in how the individual series have really shaped up. Where this one is disturbing because it is so, it is so visceral, and it's so not relatable isn't the right word, because hopefully not many people know people who've had to undergo these tragedies and like living animatronics like this. It's still got like the weirdness of these sorts of franchises, but that idea of like, oh, Felix is his whole journey about like, I made this horrific mistake, I'm regretting it, I don't know how to live with myself now. Like, that is such a human emotion, human experience. And Jack, all the regrets that come with partnering with this guy, and his anger and and the loss that comes off of all this. Like, all of this is very human and very, like it's relatable to us as humans. Whereas in the other side, where robots are coming out with scoopers, and I think it's one of the reasons why we're able to joke about FNAF in a way that it almost feels weird to joke about with Walten Files, is the scary emotional ramifications of a lot of this stuff you never really see, right? Like, we have the fact that William Afton loses his family, loses his kids, right, to these horrific accidents. He's stealing kids away. We see Henry lose his daughter, and stuff like that. And we never see the emotional fallout of a lot of that. And so it keeps it safe and sanitary, and it keeps it kind of away in a box that's okay for us to kind of like joke about, laugh about, make memes about, whatever. But if you actually stop and think about the emotional ramifications, it's huge, right? It's devastating. It's terrifying. It's scary. There's a serial killer on the loose, and he's just like stuffing people into suits. And FNAF, by the way it's framed, keeps a distance from that, whereas this kind of like dives into those human stories, and that's the part of the narrative that it's most interested in exploring. So I think it's cool to... I think in general, the whole influence of FNAF, like inspiring a bunch of other storytellers to take similar sorts of worlds and similar sorts of plot mechanics, but explore them in their own unique ways and tell their own stories through a lot of those familiar elements, is really fascinating. I think Walten Files is really the one that stood out, because it's, one, because of its consistency, and two, because of how far it's willing to go and how unflinching it is to explore a lot of this stuff. So I'm really, really curious where part 2 of part 4 goes. I'm really excited about it. I've seen tweets that say like, oh, it's coming soon. That it's pretty much done. It's just kind of waiting for the right time to release. So I'm excited to see that. And then from there, yeah, we'll find out. Obviously, we know Rosemary's and Shaw. We know a lot of the what's, who is in each animatronic suit for the most part. We know a lot of the major steps in this plot. Now I think I'm curious, it's the journey to get there, and it's seeing what other unanswered questions kind of open up along the way. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you can hear me. Just to make sure I get a good sign off here, let me grab this one more time. And thank you so much, as always, for watching us over here. If you don't mind, do me a favor and remember that it wasn't a live stream, but it was a video for you. See ya!